Hello, winners. This is Brenda Underwood, Coach BU, coming to you live tonight to talk a little bit about the overhead cost for launching a profitable coaching business. And so, to introduce myself to you guys all, I am Coach BU, and I like to say I'm Coach BU. Those are my initials of my first and last name, but I'm Coach BU because my coaching isn't all about me, it's all about you. And so I come to you live tonight to help equip coaches that may already be existing coaches, people who are thinking about becoming coaches, on what it cost me not just 10 years ago, but what it cost me when I launched my business back in 2013. And I want to give you a few caveats for you to be inspired that to launch a coaching business does not require what is necessary to launch a regular franchise business, or if you go into different brick and mortar type businesses, it doesn't cost all of that. And so I kind of just want to equip you with the information that you need in order for you to launch a coaching business that's profitable. So let me give you this. A lot of people are in business, but they're not profitable. So I didn't leave my corporate job so that I could be broke, busted, and disgusted. I left my corporate job so that I can have an autonomy of two things: an autonomy of time and autonomy of money. I wanted to have resources and an uncapped income, as well as didn't want to have to ask for PTO to go on vacation. I didn't want to argue with my boss about if I was going to take 3 weeks off in December or not. I didn't want to have those conversations anymore. I didn't want to punch a clock. Now, I'm not judging people who do. I'm not mad at you. And every once in a while, I'll think about going back into corporate. But for me, becoming an entrepreneur was all about freedom. I wanted to control my choices. I didn't want someone dictating to me when I could go on spring break. And so I launched my coaching business. And when I think about the reason why I've launched my coaching business, it's because it was the purpose that was drawn upon me by God. It wasn't something that I thought, oh, I can get rich quick, because trust me, it's not a get rich quick type situation. And I don't know many things that are. However, what I do know is that when you decide that you're going to go into coaching, don't go into it for the money. The money's going to come, but you go into it to help transform people's lives for the better. And so, with that being said, if you've ever considered getting your life coaching certification and launching a coaching business, then this live is for you. I am very big that God is not impulsive. He is strategic. And so, because God is not impulsive and he's strategic, you need to do your due diligence when you launch into anything. You need to do your research. You need to look into what's involved with each and everything that you decide you want to partake in. Okay, you wouldn't just go buy a house and just look at a house and go buy it without going inside, looking at the school district. You wouldn't do that. So when you look at launching a coaching business, do your due diligence, do your research, pray about it, be very methodical in your process, because again, God is not impulsive, he is strategic. And if you don't believe that, go back and read the book of Joshua, because there is nothing that God told them to do that was impulsive. Okay, so when we look at launching a coaching business and getting certified, the number one thing that I believe that people need to do is get certified. Is it required? Absolutely not. But it's also not required you don't have to be certified to be a plumber or an electrician either. But if you come work on my house, I'm gonna need you to know the code. Many people coach out of their own experiences. And so if I'm an electrician and I've watched my daddy since I was a little boy or little girl do the electrical work around the house, and I think that I can go and have an electrical business, well, I don't know how a high rise is wired. I don't know how the codes have changed over years. On my farmhouse, we could do all the electricity we want uncertified, but certification says that you have a certain level of skill to add to your talent. And that's what I like to offer in the Breakthrough for Life Academy. So with that being said, coaching out of your own experience, there's one thing that people need to understand. As much as we are the same, we are different. What works for one marriage does not work for the next. Now, I date. I'm a single woman and I date a couple of different gentlemen. Now, it's okay to date a couple of different gentlemen if you're not exchanging any bodily fluids. Let me make that clear. There are no wifey privileges in my dating relationships, okay? But since I date, I have one gentleman that I've dated for years that if I offer to pay the bill, he's going to be ticked off. I have just assaulted his manhood. Another gentleman, if I offer to pay the bill, he's looking like, about time. I done took you out 12 times and you ain't paid nothing. He's happy. So what works for one person doesn't work for the next. And that's the beauty of coaching. When you get certified as a life coach, you become a Swiss Army knife on growth and change, in helping others to grow and change the trajectory of their future, not based on your experiences, but based on the truth of the Holy Spirit, based on what God knows that person needs, not what you think they need, what God knows they need. You want to be able to coach a variety of people who don't think like you, act like you, talk like you, look like you, or believe like you. I have coached Muslims, atheists, agnostics, but don't get it twisted. I am a Christian coach and I don't compromise the name of Jesus. Okay. However, I can coach all these different people and respect their decision to choose something different than what I believe, because I am a Swiss Army knife in growth and change. And that's what a certification does for you. And so when we begin to look at getting a life coaching certification to launch a profitable business, just because you have an LLC don't mean you're profitable. And just because you have a business and you have a couple of clients doesn't mean you can pay the mortgage. What I'm going to show you, I'll begin to talk to you about this week in the lives that I'm going to be doing, is how do you have a profitable business, a business that pays the mortgage. I am a single mother. I have raised my son since he was 2 months old by myself with my spiritual church sisters and my Holy Father. That's it. I don't have any family that has come in and said, Brenda, let me help you fix your truck, or let me come and fix your washing machine. Or I didn't have that kind of family. I did not have any family support. I raised that little boy, me, Jesus, and my sisters in the church. Okay. And so when I talk about paying the mortgage, I don't have a safety net. I don't have an alimony or child support. I never sued Devin's father for child support. So I did this on my own with me and the Holy Spirit and some great teachers, mentors, and coaches that came alongside of me. And I can't ever discount my prayer warriors that have always been in my corner. So with that being said, when you look at launching a coaching business, it does take a tribe to start a business. However, I want to be a coach and I want to empower others to do coaching. Hey, if you're in my Facebook group, you have to give StreamYard permission to show your names. I know somebody's waving back out to me saying, hey, coach, let me know what your name is. Maybe type your name in if you don't want StreamYard to have permission to show your name. But when I thought about becoming a coach, I wanted to help women have it all. I wanted to help women to heal from the things that life had done to them, for the disappointments, discouragements, failures, molestations, rapes, verbal abuse, physical abuse that they had gone through, the not being included and being excluded. Hey, Keisha, right? That's one of my coaches out there. How you doing, Keisha, girl? Love seeing you on this live. And Keisha got certified. And wait a minute, Keisha got certified. And Keisha's graduation, I did it in my living room and my dining room. I cooked them dinner and gave them their certification card. Keisha, I'm so glad to see you here. And so back to what Breakthrough for Life and Coach BU, the Breakthrough Strategies, is all about. It's about helping women have it all. At the end of the day, the Proverbs 31 woman wasn't just barefoot and pregnant and having kids, and her whole purpose was supporting her husband. That was not what the biblical Proverbs 31 woman was. Go read it for yourself. She took care of her family, took care of her husband, took care of her kids, but she was also a seamstress. She also owned vineyards. She also sold real estate. She also was a seller of purple. And she also held some of the fine linen for herself. So she did some self-care too. And so I'm all about helping women have it all. Yes, if the Bible gives me one example of a woman who had it all, then I can have it all too. And I want to partner. Let me say not want to. I get to partner with the Holy Spirit to help his daughters have it all too. And that's why I say, Coach, be you, because my coaching is all about you being authentically who God created you to be. So when we begin to look at launching a coaching business, I'm a big believer in certification, and not just any type of certification. I'm a big believer in hands-on certification. You're going to learn more about that from one of my students that is currently in the current class that is getting hands-on training, and she is loving every minute of it. So what does it cost to launch a coaching business? Now, I'm going to preference here. Do not compare my year 10 to your year 1. I will be 10 years in this game come October of this year. Okay, so 10 years I've been doing this. So I'm going back and I'm telling you what I started with, what I started my business with, not what I have now. Okay, because I elevated to the place of having a brick and mortar office. I elevated to the place of having staff. So don't compare my year 10 to your year 1. So I'm going back to year 1, what it took for me to launch it. Okay. I launched my business without a website. I launched my business in 2013. I didn't have a website until 2015 or logo until 2015. So you can launch your business without having all of that expenditure. Now, how did I do it without a website? Facebook business page, honey. You can put all your services on there. You can put a nice cover on there. You can talk about your prices and your services, and you can have them schedule appointments from there. And I think even now you can have them pay through there. And so I use the bare minimum to get me going. Okay. Some of you guys, this may just be an option for an additional stream of revenue. Yes. I mean, just think about it. If you could bring in an extra $5,000 a month in a coaching business where you see a couple of clients per week, how much stress would that relieve from you on that job when that boss gets to acting crazy, or he got a mood, or you get a new boss that don't know you? How much stress would that relieve if you could bring in an additional $2,500 to $5,000 a month on a side business that you love doing? So this may not be a full-time gig for you. It may be a part-time gig. It was part-time for me for 3 years, and not because I couldn't do it full time, it's because I didn't believe that God wanted me to do it full time. Me and God was just arguing for 3 years. So I tell people all the time, Breakthrough for Life is 3 years behind the game. So with that being said, let's look at what's the overall cost. Can any of you guys say low, 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 low? Launching a coaching business is not like launching a franchise for Starbucks or Chick-fil-A or McDonald's. That's $500,000 investment. It's not like going and open up a carpenter shop. Those are pretty hefty investments. Launching a coaching business can be done out of your home, but we're talking about professional coaching businesses, not hoodwink stuff. We're not talking about Gmail. We're not Gmail email address for your business. We're not talking about the type of business that looks like you didn't invest in it. You're going to make an investment to launch a coaching business. Your first investment is where you get certified from, and that varies. We're not talking about certification, different types of certifications tonight. We're going to talk about overhead, and we're going to get right into it now. So the first thing you need a good computer. For $1,000, you need to go down to Micro Center or wherever you buy your computers and get you a good computer, not the cheap $250 computer. You need a good computer, because let me tell you, when people are paying for professional service for you, they do not want to hear about technical issues. They want to know that when they get on a Zoom call with you, that your battery's not going dead, that your computer isn't fighting for resources. So you need a good computer, $1,000. If you're watching this live, can you just type in $1,000 good computer? Okay. The next thing you're going to need is a high resolution camera. I paid $70 for mine. I went to Office Depot. I got a Logitech high resolution camera. It pumps out at high definition at 1080. Okay. That was $70. Invest in good lighting. I have a good ring light. Let's see if I can get you to see his ring light. There you go. I have a good ring light that cost 35 bucks. These were all just one-time purchases. Then I made sure I dedicated a room of my home to coaching. Look, don't be coaching folks in your car, running through the airport. People want you to give them their focused attention, okay? Don't be half-stepping with people's time nor their money. Be professional. Find a dedicated, quiet space in your home that you can decorate. Aesthetics says a lot. What they're looking at in the backdrop says a lot about your business. Now, what you're looking at in the backdrop is I'm now in a high rise, and you're looking at what my view looks like on the second floor of this high rise. In my home office, which I am fully functional at home. In my home office, I took the time to get good decor. I painted my office. Some of you guys watched that transformation a few years ago. I painted my office to my branding colors. I went out to Home Decor and got a nice backdrop piece of art to put on the wall. I got a nice, good vine plant. I love to plant. One of the best kept secrets about me is I love to garden and I love to plant. And I made sure that what it looked like behind me didn't look like I was just at home, scrapping it up on my bed. That's not professional. Have a good decor that people are looking at when they're looking at you in Zoom. So all of these costs are involved with launching your business. All the costs I just mentioned, they're one-time costs. So dedicated home office decor, $250. You're already paying your mortgage. Now, I'm going to give you a tip for you to go ask your accountant, because I am not a licensed CPA in the state of Georgia. Go and ask them, or wait, better yet, Google the IRS doc for startup costs for a business and how that can work in your advantage when you file your taxes, as well as anything you purchase for your business. If you qualify for itemized deductions, you can write it all off. The certification program, the computer you buy, all of those things, if you're buying them for the purpose of a business, you can write it off. Before I got a brick and mortar office, I wrote off for years a portion of my home, because that was my dedicated office without a TV in it, and that's where I worked from. Now, we like to stay legal with the IRS. I don't play no games with the IRS. There's a few folks I don't play no games with. My cousin Pookie out in Chicago, I don't play no games with Homeboy, and I don't play no games with the IRS, okay? So you want to make sure that you have a dedicated room, and you can write that off to decorate that, paint it, and all of that. So those are the dedicated costs. And if I am here, I'm going to try to share my screen. Okay. So hopefully I'm sharing my screen with you, and you can see the costs. Overhead costs, low. So $1,000 for a good computer, $70 for a high resolution camera, $35 for good lighting, a ring light, or $250 to $300 for a dedicated home office decor, okay? So the tip here, if you had an action step, it would be to go research startup costs for a business and look for the irs.gov document. Don't get third-party information, get it straight from the source. Now, the next group of information that you see here is number 2. These are monthly costs, okay? So you need to have really good internet, y'all. Good internet. I had AT&T crap internet for a long time, and it cost me because it would buffer. Streaming on Zoom takes a lot of resources from your computer. So, I had to tell my son, don't be on the Wi-Fi, don't be streaming a movie, don't be doing nothing while I'm working, because I had bad internet when I first started my business. Now, AT&T finally got in the game and I got fiber, but fiber is best. But if you don't have it, get the top tier internet you can get in your area. It cost me about $55 a month to have fiber, because don't want to be streaming or doing a Zoom call and there's a lot of buffering, a lot of hiccuping, because you're trying to help somebody with a cognitive transformation. You don't want to lose that concentrated focus because of some technical issues. The other thing is voice over IP phone. It costs me about $10 a month for me to have my vanity number, 855-923-LIFE. If you and I answer that call as much as I can. If you call that, I'm going to answer that call. I'm going to ask you if you're looking to hire a coach. And if you are, we're going to have a long conversation. If you're looking to sell me something, I'm going to tell you I'm not interested. And that's the end of the call. So I have a vanity phone number. Why a vanity phone number? You do not, and when I say you do not want to put your phone number, your cell phone number or your home number on the internet for marketing purposes. You will have everybody and they mama calling to sell you something. Trust me, my business cell phone number is private. You can't find it. You use the 800 number until I know that we have a legitimate business, mutual reason to do business. Then you get that number. So I have a voice over IP. I recommend Freedom Voice. They have been phenomenal for me whenever I have a problem. They pick up the phone. I have an app on my phone. I can make calls from my 800 number. I can receive calls from my 800 number. And so this is more than worth the $120 a year you're going to spend on it. I chose a vanity number, but you can choose a local number, a 404 number, or wherever your area is. I'm in Georgia, for your phone number. Then Canva. The owners of Canva, thank you, because they have made Photoshop made easy. Because trying to learn Photoshop was a nightmare for me when I started my business. Canva, I used Canva free for like ever. And then I finally said, I wanted some of their pro features. I wanted to have some of the pictures and things of that nature. So I went ahead and I paid the $12.95 Canva Pro. Look, y'all eat out $12.95 at least weekly. Invest $12.95 in the branding. I mean, I have done everything from my one sheet on Canva. I can do my business cards if I wanted to, but I use Vista for my business cards when I had them. I've done all of my artwork, all those high heel shoes you see on my page, that's all done in Canva. The pictures I pull from somewhere else for the high heel shoes, but many of my branded social media infographic stuff comes off of Canva. So just invest in it. Of course, Zoom, $15.99. The free version of Zoom is going to cap you off at 40 minutes. And so all of my coaching has always been at minimum 60 minutes. And then later I increased my coaching sessions to 75 minutes. Adobe Signer. I did not get involved with Adobe Signer until like 5 years ago. So half of the time I was having people email them the contract and then they sent the contract back to me. Oh, Brenda, I didn't know you have a contract. Yes, if you're a life coach, you need to have a good contract. And let me tell you why. You want to have a good contract as a life coach because this is the deal, y'all. If they think that you are a life coach doing therapy, you will get sued. If anybody reports back that a life coach is doing therapy without a license to do mental health counseling, that's a lawsuit. $10,000 to prove that you're not. So you want someone to sign off an informed consent that you are not doing any therapy at all. That's why you have an agreement. So now I have Adobe Signer. People can sign electronically. Let me tell you what, get you a good attorney because you need to make sure that you have the right verbiage to take a digital signature, okay? The next thing is the Jot form. I use Jot forms. It's a part of healthy accountability within the one-on-one coaching. So I see anywhere from 15 to 30 clients per week. In one-on-one coaching. And part of helping people change, they need support, encouragement, and healthy accountability. I used to do this heavy-handed slap your hand when you didn't do your action steps. I stopped doing that. I got a Jot form. I work with people who have integrity. They hate marking no on that job form that they didn't do their action steps. And so this also helps me keep abreast of where they're at with their action steps, how they're progressing along. So I invest in job form, but I didn't invest in job form until later on. You don't need this to launch your business. Then Acuity Scheduler, I used to spend 5 to 7 hours a week scheduling and rescheduling and talking to people about when they could meet and when they couldn't meet and going back and forth and email and text. And honey, when I got Acuity Scheduler, and I know there's another one, Calendly is out there, and they're a little less expensive, but I like Acuity Scheduler, one, because of their branding features, but also because of their back end audit. I can tell when someone opened up their email from me with regards to if they got their reminders. It's going to tell me immediately if there's a bounce back. I mean, there's just some features about Acuity that I liked over Calendly. And so Acuity Scheduler, they just went up from $15 a month to $19 a month. I get it. Everything's gone up, so I don't mind paying them. They're a phenomenal vendor for me. And then last but not least is StreamYard. You can actually get StreamYard for $25 a month, and then you can go live on 3 platforms. For me, though, I go live. I'm live on my YouTube. I'm live in my Facebook group. I'm live on my Facebook business page. I'm live on my Facebook personal page, and I'm live on LinkedIn. So I want to go live. I want to go live one time to all places. Now I will have to splice this down to put it on Instagram. Instagram is its own different nurturing female, Facebook is a man. He's simple. Just get it done, and it's simple. Instagram, it's got to be this format. It's got to look this way. It can only be this amount of time. She's a female. So I've got to massage my videos a little bit to get it on StreamYard. To get it on Instagram. But StreamYard, you can start with $25 a month if you only want to publish in 3 platforms. I publish, like I said, in 5, so it's $49 a month. And I do like to publish in HD. I like for it to look good when I go out there. Now, you can look at some of my old videos and you can tell I didn't have StreamYard back then. And like I said, y'all, I elevated to this place where I am today. So with that being said, this is what I spent. Now, there's a few things that are not up here. This is what I spent to launch my business. Categories 1 and 2 is what I spent to launch my business. Category 3, you can get at a later time. But I'm going to tell you, Acuity Scheduler, game changer. I get agitated if I have to talk to people about, go back and forth. When do you want to meet? Do you want to meet Tuesday? You want to meet Thursday? Because literally, I count minutes. Every minute of my day is very precisely planned out so I can get things done, and so that I can help the maximum amount of people. Because helping one-on-one coaching 30 people a week, that's a different piece of work right there. And so you need to be precision on your timing. And so I don't like to waste time on things that can be automated. So categories 1 and 2, you need to have to launch your business. Category 3, you can elevate into. Now, some things that I have now that I didn't have when I first launched my business, I got a second mortgage. I decided I wanted to have a brick and mortar location where people can come and see me. It added a level of confidence to people when they invest. Some of my clients invest a healthy 4 figures and some 5 figures to work with me, especially in the corporate leadership space, because I do leadership training as well. So I wanted them to feel confident in who I was. You can elevate into that place, but that's a second mortgage. No lie, the space that I rent in Sugarloaf is more than my mortgage in my home in Swanee. The next thing that I do have is I have YouTube Premium. The reason why I like YouTube Premium, because when I do speaking engagements, I'll use YouTube, and I don't want to have a commercial popping up. And so that's $11.99 a month. It's not much. The other thing that I have is Amazon Prime. So that's $14.99 a month. The reason why I have Amazon Prime is because sometimes I'll order a book for clients. Let me tell you, when you invest with Breakthrough for Life, you're going to get more than you paid for. I promise you, if there's a book that I think you need, if there is a planner I think you need, I'm going to order it for you, and I'm gonna send it to you. So I have Amazon Prime so I can get free shipping because I'm always giving back to my clientele. And then the one that I'm going to end on this note. The biggest mistake I made a lot of them when I launched my business. That's why I try to educate people on how not to make those mistakes. The biggest mistake I made was not having a good CRM, customer relations management. And so you want to be able to not just have MailChimp or Acuity keep all of your contacts. I have a phenomenal CRM now that allows me to be able to nurture my clients and my prospects. I can keep track of my people who are on the fence, never signed up, did sign up. I can do my social media post, schedule it through Zoho. That's the one that I use, Zoho. They're $70 a month. So it replaced Hootsuite. I had built a database because I used to do database management in a previous career. So I built a database in Microsoft Access. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. Um, but it replaced Microsoft Access as my CRM. It replaced my Hootsuite, which Hootsuite went up like $300, $400 a year. I wasn't paying for that. And then it also replaced my MailChimp, which I was doing MailChimp free. So it wasn't a cost savings, but it's nice to have it all in one place. And they also can do surveys for me. So it got rid of my monkey survey. And there's one other feature that I don't use, and that's Ticket Desk. I don't use like a Zendesk or anything, but it also has that capability. I absolutely love Zoho. Anytime I need them brothers, they there for me. They keep a sister straight, okay? And I pay $70 a month for it. The setup, now keep in mind, I used to do contact database management. So I know how to do the infrastructure of a database. I learned it when I was 19 years old working for a publishing company. So my integration was a little bit different, but not having some place where I can say, this is my client's birthday, this is my client's anniversary date of when we started, things of that nature, that really hampered my ability to be more personable and relational with my clients. And I'm so happy I have that now. Now, 10 years later, what are some of the things that I have? I'm gonna go over these real quick because I'm supposed to be home doing meal prep for my son with my son tonight. He's gonna be telling me off in a minute. But one of the things that I have now is I have always had someone doing my marketing. I have always had a social media marketing coordinator. My son, when he got his worker's permit, I immediately taught him how to do it. And he's been doing that since he was 16 years old, and now he's 24. I also have a admin assistant salesperson who's part-time right now. We're going to be migrating her into full-time. So that's an additional cost, but I am ramping up because this is my goal is I want to begin to hire coaches. So I will do all the marketing and certified coaches through the Breakthrough for Life Academy. I don't care if you got John Maxwell certification, anybody else's. I'm not hiring other people's coaches. I'm hiring coaches that I know how to transform people's lives. And so by the end of 2024, I want to be hiring coaches, which means I have to have my marketing scaled up to a point to be able to sustain 3 coaches plus myself. And I don't want them to have, peanut butter type salaries. I want them to be able to eat some filet mignon if they so choose to. And so I'm ramping up my marketing so that I can support the salaries of certified life coaches through Breakthrough for Life. So with that being said, there's eventually going to be a full-time admin assistant and then a full-time salesperson. And we will begin to ramp up so that I can begin to send leads to people who've been certified through Breakthrough for Life, and then eventually hire people who've been certified through Breakthrough for Life. That is the long vision of my business. So with that being said, I hope that this has given someone out there, some single mom out there, someone who didn't think that they could have the great marriage and the good kids and a great career, giving you some level of hope, y'all. You're looking at a woman who's been in a straitjacket 3 different times for suicide attempts. And if you haven't checked out the podcast, Challenges Won't Stop Me, I give a bit of my testimony on that with Melanie Brown, and that's phenomenal. Phenomenal woman. Her and her husband are absolutely just lovable. And I give a bit of my testimony, but I share a lot of my testimony, my transparency, to let you know that if life kicked you in the gut and threw you away, you don't have to stay down, baby girl. Because if God did it for me, He'll do it for you too. And I am so happy that I trusted God with the unknown, because now I live a life that sometimes I have to pinch myself and say, is this really my life, God? Is this really the life that you wanted me to have? Sometimes we think that our dreams are what we manufactured ourselves, but they are not. They are God's dreams that He placed on the inside of us, that He wants us to catch with our hands of faith. Y'all, I didn't know what I needed to know, but God knew what I needed to know. And He brought me the opportunity. And what I needed to give Him was a committed yes. I remember the first time I paid $8,000 from my first coach. And I'm thinking, this heifer better bring it. And she did. Caroline Saletto, she brought it. She taught me how to systemize and automate my business. She helped take me to the next level. Beverly Warthour, she helped take me to the next level. You need people in your life that can help you see your blind spots and help you break destructive thought cycles. And I hope that if you don't choose me, you choose someone, but that you trust God enough to invest in you. Okay. I got a certification. I'm dual certified, business certification and a life coaching certification from 2 completely different institutions. And those were financial investments and time investments, but it was so worth it. So I hope that over this next year that you will bet on you. You are the best investment that you can make, and the return on investment is greater than you could ever measure, because you can never measure the God factor. I literally do what I love every day. Not saying that folks don't get on my nerves, because they do. I still got to drive to work. But I am living my best life. God has been gracious and good to this earthen vessel. And so I hope that you may at some point decide that you want to get certified through Breakthrough for Life. We have 2 certifications coming up. I just added one September 9th. That September 9th certification program, we're going to do it at 10 a.m. and at 1 p.m. So I'm going to be teaching 2 classes during that time. So there's one coming up July 8th. The people who are coming into the July 8th certification, they will be certified by Thanksgiving. And I'm so excited about what's going on, what's happening. We've already got people enrolled in the July 8th class. We already have people who were enrolled in the April 29th class, and they blend in together. So you get to meet a variety of personalities. You get to peer coach and do role play with a variety of different people, all women who love the Lord, and a few good men that love the Lord and that are able to help us craft our winning lives and our winning business. So I'm so excited about these 2 cohorts. If you're interested, don't hesitate to go to breakthroughforlife.com. Just Google me. I'm everywhere. Just Google Breakthrough for Life and I'll pop up. Google Breakthrough for Life, click on the contact us, schedule a free discovery call. I don't do no high pressure sales. Either you see the value in the certification program or in the one-on-one coaching and you decide to invest in yourself, or you decide to keep shopping. I'm not going to pressure you, but I am going to help open your eyes to the possibilities that can be found with Breakthrough for Life, where we love to under promise and over deliver. So this is Brenda Underwood. Y'all pray for me. My son is probably looking at this live like that heifer said she's going to be home at 9 o'clock so we can do meal prep. And Chad, I still got to go to Publix and pick up the meat. Anyhow, let me get out of here. Love you. Stay tuned to my channel. Subscribe to my page at Breakthrough with Brenda on YouTube. I always make sure my lives are published there. And I wish you guys all the best. Go get them, go getters. Peace and love. Bye-bye.